If you haven't checked me out yet on Instagram, head on over to Geekdom Big D on Instagram, where I post all kinds of different stuff that I'm interested in, like movies, Dragon Ball, of course, sports, and my adventures. And I hope to make you laugh too. Instagram.com/Geekdom Big D. Let's get to the video. We have hit quite the milestone. Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 80. I would have never thought back in 2015 that this would actually go to Chapter 80, but we are still going, and the battle between the Heater Gang and Goku, Vegeta, and Granolah, namely Granolah, is continuing. In the last chapter, we saw Granolah versus Gas. This chapter is called Granolah versus Gas 2. How creative. But it is a very different manga chapter, not so much in the way of action, because I feel like this chapter has probably as much action as the last one, but it is in the way of us really finding out what Gas can do, and we got a lot more information on Gas in this episode than what we had known about before. So the first part of this manga chapter is one that I covered when the original draft pages came out, and that is Gas versus Granolah early on, where Gas begins to catch up to Granolah. Little by little, he slowly starts to catch up to Granolah and become a better fighter, learn his movements, learn how to increase his own strength, and be able to basically even the odds against the Senzu being, repowered Granolah, that is to say. And I often wondered, is this really the height of Gas's power, as I was reading last month's chapter? Well, turns out it's really not, as we find out in this chapter. So there's a moment here where Granolah, basically uses telekinesis to create all these rocks and then blow them up in a way to kind of create these little grenades. That was kind of a cool idea, but I feel like at this point that kind of power is just not going to work on Gas. However, I will give Toyotaro credit. There's a lot of great panels here in this manga chapter. There's actually some really good ones I'm going to show you here shortly that I thought were pretty spectacular. I love, Granolah and Gas duking it out with their powers combining and just the fury behind their strength. It looks good. All looks good to me. But like I said, Gas is slowly beginning to catch up to Granolah during this fight, and Goku and Vegeta are quick to sense it. They discussed that Granolah did not finish Gas off quick enough, and that's similar to what may have happened in the past with Granolah, Goku, and Vegeta, because Granolah was kind of toying with them for a while. But it's funny to me because letting an opponent live for too long is a mistake that both Goku and Vegeta have made. Heck, Gohan even made that mistake against Cell when he let him live for too long, and that is what made Cell grow tremendously large and blow up, and that's what led to Goku sacrificing himself for the second time. So it's a mistake that is made over and over again by the good guys and the bad guys of Dragon Ball. Granolah tries different stuff, like for example, he makes a bunch of clones of himself and they all attack Gas. Now I really love that panel. I love the way that Toyotaro kind of drew the Granolahs surrounding the center with Gas in the middle. That's really great stuff. I love the perspective art here from Toyotaro. And I also really love the panel that I had to turn sideways here for you guys. It's actually turned to the side in the actual V-Jump magazine, which is Gas firing Ki Blast at all of the Granolah clones, piercing all of them through the stomach and chest. That was a freaking great panel, dude. I literally pictured the old Dragon Ball Z sound effects here as he did that. You know what I mean? The old sound effects, the classic ones. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Now, as the battle continues, Granolah tries a variety of different tactics, and Gas is still kind of not doing that well, but doing better than he was before. But it's not until Elec shows up that we have our first big twist of the battle. We find out that, indeed, Gas's power has been suppressed. That little, I guess that little headdress that he was wearing, that sort of necklace on his head, that has some kind of power, some kind of seal over Gas. Don't really know the origins of it yet, but I hope we find out soon, maybe in a future chapter or in a guidebook or something. But that, thing was actually suppressing Gas's power, and that Gas can get a lot stronger than he's revealed so far if it's removed. So Alec, being the agent of chaos that he is, removes it, and we have Granolah going into rage mode. Now, when I did my spoiler video, I discussed this being like Broly, and it certainly is like Broly. It's like Broly going into rage mode. We've seen it a million times. But now, after actually reading the chapter and seeing the manga and seeing how it plays out with actual visuals, I think it's more like the Great Ape than Broly. Because, as you know, we saw it with Gohan in Dragon Ball Z, and later on in GT with Golden Great Ape Goku, which led to Goku getting another transformation, which happens to Gas too, which I'll get to here in a minute. But Gas rages out. But the difference between Broly and Gas, and really the similarities and differences as to why I'm comparing it to Golden Great Ape or the Great Ape, is because Gas is out of control. Broly, at least, especially the old Z Broly, has awareness of what he's doing. Like, he knows what he's doing, but Gas is just totally nuts. There's a panel where he accidentally attacks, Maki and Oil. I mean, and they even asked Monaito at one point, hey, dude, what's the secret to beating him? That Bardock found or whatever, Goku's father. And Monaito's like, I don't know, I passed out, I didn't see it. Great, so we're not going to get that reveal from Monaito. We thought we were going to get that reveal. This manga chapter told us nope, we ain't getting it. We are not getting that reveal. So whatever Bardock did, the heroes in this time now are going to have to figure it out for themselves. So, like I said, Gas goes absolutely berserk, starts headbutting like rocks in the wall, just going completely nuts. There's actually a really cool scene where he takes Granolah and smashes him into the earth. Like, I'm talking about like into the crust of the planet cereal. Like, it's freaking awesome, and that's a great scene. That scene reminded me of a scene from the fight with Superman and Doomsday from the Death of Superman storyline from the 90s. Have y'all ever read that? That totally seems like something Toyotaro may have been inspired by. He's also grabbing Granolah by the forehead, and it really does come off like the moves Broly would do in Dragon Ball Super Broly and the old Z Broly as well. I mean, he's a complete savage, just choke slamming this, or whatever you want to call it, Granolah, just smashing him, and Granolah's bloodied up and just completely getting smashed. I mean, I called the spoiler video the other day, I did Gas Smash, because he really is like the Hulk, and he actually goes after Vegeta at one point, hitting him with a big flying kick, flying right in between Goku and Monaito. And Vegeta's injured, man. And I gotta give credit to Toyotaro. The art in this part of the chapter is phenomenal, man. Great stuff by him showing the raging Gas. And I wonder how Toyotaro would draw Broly. Are we ever going to get Broly in this manga? Will we see at some point Broly maybe raging out and have it be drawn by Toyotaro, like actually like a complete story with him? Who knows? But if this is any indication, then great. I think he can pull it off. So at one point, Gas is just smashing Vegeta up, and then Goku shows up to protect Vegeta, and he ends up throwing a punch at Gas. And what happens is he throws the punch at Gas. Gas does block the punch, but then during that moment, seeing Goku face to face up front for the first time, for some reason that in combination with Alec removing his little head thing led to him having PTSD, a PTSD-esque flashback of Bardock. He thinks back to the fight with Bardock, so we see a little mini flashback of them fighting, and we see Bardock firing the same ki blast that he used, or one that's very similar to the one he used against Frieza in both the special and in Dragon Ball Super Broly, at Gas. But what we don't see is what he attacks, what he hits. Is it one of his tusks? Like, what exactly is it that he tries to use on Gas? But Gas loses it, man. Gas cannot handle himself. Now, I do have a couple points to bring up here about Alec and what he did. First of all, did you guys notice that when Alec came back into the scene At this point, the sky had not gotten dark. And you know, when the Dragon Balls are summoned, the sky gets dark. So what does that mean? That tells me that Alec has not made a wish to the Cerulean Dragon after the one he had made the first time. So unless it happens off screen or the rules are different, I'm wondering now, what was Alec's private business that he teased in the previous chapters? Did he leave the planet? Did he go meet up with Frieza? Did he go get 7-3? What happened to Alec off screen? The sky did not go dark, so what does that mean? That remains to be answered in the future. Also, one other question I have is Gas's transformation, right? Can the other heaters do something similar? Can the other heaters do a similar transformation? Do they all have their own special abilities? Is this a gas only thing? I mean, we find out in this chapter at the end, he is related to Alec. So, you know, the end of the chapter, he calls him little brother, which was a big revelation. To me, that's interesting. I wonder about the other heaters and if they can do it or if it's a gas exclusive, you know, technique or power or whatever. That also remains to be seen. So what ends up happening is Alec tells Gas to control himself, and he managed to do it, and he manages to unlock a new form where he keeps his power up. He is keeping the tusks that are coming down. He is keeping control of his power while simultaneously having the rage power, you know, having access to that rage power. So again, it's very reminiscent of Golden Grade Ape Goku rampaging out and then controlling himself and then morphing into Super Saiyan 4 Goku and GT. There are similarities here. Whether or not it's inspired by GT or not, that remains to be seen. Toyotaro did grow up watching the anime, so obviously he would have seen those episodes. And if you've ever read his stuff prior to working on Dragon Ball Super, you know that he has an affinity for taking stuff from old stuff and still does it. So yeah, I mean, I could totally see that being an inspiration. So when Gas gets control, he's not only got new powers, he's got new clothes as well. He manages to manifest new clothes on himself, and this is where Alec commands him to finish them off, little brother. And that's supposed to be the big revelation that they are indeed related by blood. So does that mean that Alec can also transform? Again, that remains to be seen, but that is the cliffhanger for the manga chapter, that now Alec has sicked Gas at max power on Granolah and the others. And I think it's going to take the team of Goku, Vegeta, and Granolah together to defeat this new unleashed full power Gas. Now we have Gas at max strength. It's going to get tough for our heroes. Where is this going to go? We'll find out next month. But first, I will talk to you guys in 2 days here on the channel, live streaming here on Geekdom 101, the new chapter and what's going to happen next. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Leave a comment about what you thought about this chapter. I look forward to reading it, but I'll see you guys in 2 days.